What happens when precision meets pure power inside the cage? Few fighters in combat sports history have struck fear into their opponents the way Bas Rutten did, a three-time king of Pancrase champion and former UFC Heavyweight Champion. Rutten carved his name into history with brutal knockouts and body shots that literally shattered livers. His reputation for finishing fights violently was legendary, and many of his opponents left the ring on stretchers or didn't leave under their own power at all. In this video, we'll break down of his most brutal finishes, and they only get more devastating as we go. Stick around until the end, because Rutten's final revenge fight is one of the greatest moments in combat sports history. Our first brutal finish came against none other than Minoru Suzuki, the co-founder of Pancrase and one of Japan's most respected fighters. On July 6, 1994, Suzuki entered the fight undefeated. As one of the organization's pioneers, Suzuki was known for his submission skills and toughness. Many thought his grappling would be too much for Rutten. They were wrong. Rutten closed the distance quickly, using his signature striking precision. A few clean palm strikes to Suzuki's head and body softened him up. Then Rutten landed a devastating shot that targeted Suzuki's liver. Within moments, Suzuki dropped to the mat. The referee had no choice but to stop the fight. Bas Rutten handed Suzuki his first defeat in violent fashion, sending a message to the entire Pancrase roster. He was there to destroy. Rutten's Pancrase debut came on September 21, 1993, against Ryushi Yanagisawa. Yanagisawa outweighed Rutten by 45 pounds, a serious size and strength advantage. But Rutten wasn't fazed. He stepped into the ring under Pancrase's unique rules set for the first time, fighting with open hand strikes and limited grappling experience. It took 48 seconds for Rutten to make his mark. Rutten delivered a devastating right hand that rocked Yanagisawa. Then he followed up with a brutal liver shot that sent Yanagisawa crashing to the mat, completely unconscious. The knockout was so severe Yanagisawa had to be carried out of the ring. He spent 2 days in the hospital recovering. Rutten later admitted he feared for Yanagisawa's life in the aftermath. This was Rutten's introduction to Pancrase, and it was terrifying. Rutten's second fight in Pancrase was against Takaku Fuke, a seasoned Japanese wrestler, on October 14, 1993. Fuke was known for his submission game and had far more experience in the ring than Rutten. Most thought Rutten would struggle once the fight hit the ground, but Rutten never gave him a chance. From the opening exchange, Rutten kept the fight standing, using his improving takedown defense. He picked Fuke apart with surgical precision, landing heavy palm strikes to the head and body. Fuke tried to stay in the fight, but Rutten's relentless striking left him battered and unable to defend himself. After knocking Fuke down multiple times, Rutten forced the referee to step in and wave off the fight. Another brutal finish. Another victim. After dominating Pancrase, Rutten took his talents to the UFC. At UFC 18, on May 7, 1999, he faced Tsuyoshi Kosaka in his Octagon debut. This was a different game. Rutten was now fighting under the unified rules of MMA, where closed fist strikes and elbows were legal, and that made him even more dangerous. Kosaka opened aggressively, looking to close the distance and take Rutten down. But Rutten's defense held up. He punished Kosaka with heavy right hands, snapping his head back with every shot. Kosaka wiped blood from his eye and pressed forward, but Rutten wasn't slowing down. Rutten delivered a brutal knee to the midsection, folding Kosaka. Then he followed with another crushing knee and a barrage of punches. Kosaka collapsed to the mat, unable to defend himself. Rutten had won by TKO, showing the UFC fans exactly why he was one of the most feared strikers in the sport. It was a violent statement on his path toward the UFC Heavyweight Championship. Before his UFC run, Rutten fought his last bout in Pancrase on January 16, 1998, against Kengo Watanabe. Watanabe stood 6'4" and weighed 220 pounds, making him a physically imposing figure. But size doesn't matter when you're fighting Bas Rutten. Rutten attacked Watanabe's legs early with brutal kicks, slowing him down. Once Watanabe's movement was compromised, Rutten zeroed in on his target. A devastating liver shot followed by a clean combination dropped Watanabe instantly. He couldn't continue. It was yet another example of Rutten's clinical precision, targeting the body, breaking the opponent down, and finishing him without mercy. This was Rutten's final fight in Pancrase, and he left as its undisputed king. On April 26, 1996, Rutten faced Katsumi Inagaki, a tough, well-respected veteran. Up to that point, Inagaki had never been finished in his entire career. That all changed the night he stepped into the ring with Rutten. Rutten approached with his usual calm intensity, measuring Inagaki before attacking. He landed clean strikes and targeted the body with precision. Finally, Rutten delivered a devastating liver shot that sent Inagaki to his knees. He tried to recover but couldn't stand. The referee counted him out as Inagaki writhed on the canvas in pain. Rutten became the first man to finish Katsumi Inagaki, adding another brutal highlight to his resume. 2 months later, Rutten met Jason DeLucia for their third fight. Rutten had submitted him twice before, but this time he had different plans. At the Pancrase 1996 anniversary show, Rutten focused his attack on DeLucia's body, specifically targeting the liver. After setting him up with leg kicks and feints, Rutten threw a lightning-fast palm strike directly to DeLucia's liver. The effect was immediate. DeLucia collapsed to the mat, clutching his side, unable to breathe or move. DeLucia later said the pain was unbearable, unlike anything he had ever felt. Rutten had perfected the liver shot, and this was one of its most devastating examples. It remains one of the most iconic body shot finishes in MMA history. The crown jewel of Rutten's Pancrase career was his fight against Masakatsu Funaki on September 7, 1996. Funaki was a legend, co-founder of Pancrase, and the man who had previously handed Rutten one of his early defeats by submission. This fight was about redemption. From the start, Funaki pressed forward, trying to grapple and take Rutten to the ground. But Rutten had prepared for this moment. He defended takedowns, punished Funaki in the clinch with knees, and countered every exchange with sharp palm strikes. Over 15 brutal minutes, Rutten broke Funaki down. The fight was fast-paced and violent, with both men pushing to their limits. Eventually, Rutten's body work and relentless striking paid off. He delivered another devastating liver shot, followed by a knee and a flurry of strikes. Funaki collapsed, and the referee ended the fight. Rutten had avenged his loss, defended his undisputed King of Pancrase title, and delivered what many consider one of the greatest fights in Pancrase history. Bas Rutten's career was a masterclass in controlled aggression and precision. Whether he was shattering livers or dismantling legends, Rutten earned his place as one of the most feared fighters in combat sports history. If you enjoyed reliving these legendary moments, hit that like button, leave a comment telling us your favorite Bas Rutten finish, and subscribe to Legends of the Octagon for more stories from the icons of MMA. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.